Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. Let's wait for the minutes and we can get started. Okay, so let's get started. So thank you everyone for joining. My name is Jen. I'm the admissions and registration representative at Institute of Global Specialists. Today, one of our global education specialist program instructors, Candace McGovern, and my colleague Poco from admission team, they will also be joining and bring you some information and insight about our programs. For today's info sessions, we will begin with some general information such as admission requirements and fee structures. And after this brief information, we will get into programs in details. And toward the end, there is a Q&A section. So we will be more than happy to answer your questions at that time. But if you do have any question during our presentation, you are welcome to type it on the chat box, and my colleague Yulia Dimitri Scott from the admission team, she will help answering your question. So to give you a little bit of general information about who we are and our programs, the Institute of Global Specialists is owned by a nonprofit organization, Canadian Society of Immigration Consultants, which was the previous regulator of immigration consultants in Canada. Now we are located in St. John, New Brunswick. Currently, we offer 7 online programs. So you are going to do everything online. That will include your study material, lectures, assignments, and exams. All the programs are designed using the Harvard Business School case study method of teaching, and all the programs are offered in English only. There's no language requirement to join, no age limit to apply neither. And just so you know that we do also accept international students. So international students pay the same rate as our Canadian students. As we provide fully online programs, so you can study anywhere from the globe. So in regards to the time difference, you get to schedule your own study time. As long as you are meeting the deadlines to submit your works, you are good to go. But you got to make sure that you are devoted at least 10 to 20 hours per week, just to make sure that you meet your deadlines and be able to succeed with your courses. Some students have questions about placement. Like most colleges and universities, we will offer career placement support to our students, such as help with writing resumes, identifying job opportunities, networks, improve your job interview presentation skills, but it will ultimately up to you to seek employment after you complete your program. I'd like to highlight something that's very unique about our instructors. They are people who have been working in their industries for over decades, and they are still currently involved in their fields. So we carefully vetted each instructors and select highly qualified individual to design and teach our programs. So you're not just learning about the theory, you are actually learning about the real world experience from them. So you're more than welcome to take the advantage of that. All the details and bios about our instructors are available on our website, globalspecialist.org. We highly encourage you to check them out. The tuition fee for all IGS program is currently 533 per module. We are expect to raise our fee by 10% after April 4th. We do have flexible payment plans. A student can pay it on module by module basis. And they are 6 to 9 modules depending on the program of your choice. And each module is about 4 to 5 weeks. That means student can expect to pay once per month. Also, if you are interested in only taking specific modules, instead of the entire program, you can choose to take module individually. For example, in our Canadian Immigration Law Specialist program, you can choose to take only the refugee module or economic class module if you wish. We have next start date scheduled for April 4th, so we encourage you to sign up before the fee changes. Another thing to mention about that is we also offer scholarship and financing. Please contact us for more information about that. After our presentation, you can contact us by email to inquire about financing and scholarships. Now, I will be talking about each programs in detail. I will be going over 3 programs and Paul will be covering the other 4. To begin with, I will introduce you guys with the Canada Border Service Specialist program. This program is designed and taught by a former CBSA officer and experts who have over 15 years of experience on the field. This program will enable you with essential border services procedures and prepare you to be a capable professionals in immigration, customs, import, export, or concerning border services. This program has 7 modules and is 29 weeks long. And once you complete this program, you can seek employment with the public sector, such as CBSA, the Immigration Department, as well as the private sector, with companies dealing with cross-border regulations and processes, importing, exporting business such as Walmart, Costco, oil or mining organizations. Then the next program I'm going to talk about is the Global Immigration Specialist program. There are 6 modules in the Global Immigration Specialist program, and the entire program is 26 weeks long. This program will focus on different global immigration paths through investments, such as purchasing property and business overseas. You are going to learn about over 20 countries that offer these programs, countries like Caribbean countries, some European countries, and some East Asian countries as well. You're going to be able to identify the needs and risks for your clients that you can find the most efficient routes of immigration in corporate contexts. All our GIX instructors have been practicing and providing immigration advice and services globally for over 20 or even 30 years. So once you complete this program, you will receive diploma from us, which will allow you to write an exam with the regulatory body, Global Society of Immigration Specialists, and work as a chartered global immigration specialist to provide service around the globe. Then the next program I'm going to cover is the Global Education Specialist program. Upon completion of this program, you could work as an international student agents for elementary, secondary schools, university, and colleges to receive commissions from them. And on the other hand, you could work as a consultant to help students and their families with the right admission process into the schools of their desire. There are 8 modules in this program and is 38 weeks long. This program actually focusing on over 20 countries. So you are going to learn about different levels of education systems in countries like Canada, in the United States, in European countries, New Zealand, Australia, as well as East Asian countries like Singapore, China. It will also cover the immigration aspects, such as how to apply for study permit or visa, ethical framework of the industry. You are going to learn the different financial aids available for international students as well. So you could help your student applying for those. You're going to learn how to build connection with schools as a designated agent and with families as an education advisor. All our IGS instructors, they are coming from different parts of the world with amazing background. They have over 20 years or more, or even more years of experience on the industry. Some are former admission officers and recruiter at post-secondary institutions. Some are experts in processing admissions to K-12 education. Together, we believe they can provide a comprehensive knowledge and on-field experience you need as a successful education advisor. So once you complete this program, you will be able to write an exam with the regulatory body, Global College of Education Specialist, and work as a Chartered Global Education Specialist. Now, Paul will go over the other 4 programs in detail.
Thank you, Jen. My name is Po, and I am the Admissions and Student Affairs Representative at the Institute of Global Specialists. I'll now be going over the remaining 4 programs that we offer, beginning with the Foreign Service and International Development Specialist Program. Like all of our programs, the Foreign Service and International Development Specialist Program is completely online. There are 6 modules in the program and is 24 weeks long. The program will introduce students to the world of diplomacy in bilateral and multilateral settings. The program will examine real-world examples of diplomacy involving Canada and other countries, such as the relationship between Canada and the US. Students will develop essential diplomatic skills such as intergovernmental negotiation and networking. And these diplomacy skills are not just specific to Canada. They are transferable skills for anyone who wishes to join a career in diplomacy anywhere in the world. The program will also cover how to manage international development projects and the effects of globalization, which are major priorities for NGOs and Global Affairs Canada. I'd also like to take a moment to highlight the amazing instructors in the program. Our instructors have 15 to 30 years of experience as foreign officers with the government or as development specialists, so they are very knowledgeable and well-connected in the industry. The next program that I'll cover today is the Canadian Immigration Law Specialist Program. The Canadian Immigration Law Specialist Program is geared toward anyone who wishes to have an in-depth understanding of how to navigate the immigration system in Canada. Using the Harvard case study method of teaching, the program covers key aspects of Canadian immigration law and regulations. Please note that this program is not meant for those wishing to become a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. That's a profession regulated by the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants. However, there are promising career opportunities after taking our program, such as working for the government or for NGOs or at an existing consulting firm. Our program is taught by immigration consultants who have decades of experience navigating the Canadian immigration system. There are 9 modules in the program, and it is 42 weeks long. This is the longest program that we offer, as it covers the complexities of Canada's immigration system. The program covers topics such as PR and citizenship, economic class, family class, temporary class, appeals, hearings, and detentions, and refugees. The next program that we'll cover today is the Global Supply Chain Specialist Program. At a basic level, supply chain management involves acquiring goods or services to achieve your business goals. And in today's globalized world, supply chain management has never been more important. We've all heard about recent supply chain problems in the news. For example, delays in consumer goods over the holidays was a major problem for retailers. The program consists of 7 modules and is 26 weeks long. Our program will examine the supply chain processes for the public sector, which includes all levels of government, and the private sector. You learn how to navigate the complexities of the request for proposal process, known as RFPs, and how to negotiate contracts. The program will cover the supply chain landscape in various countries such as Canada, the US, and the UK. The instructors in our program have diverse backgrounds in the supply chain sector, including the fields of transportation, mining, healthcare, telecommunications, construction, and more. Our instructors have experience in both the private and the public sectors of supply chain management. This program is perfect for business owners interested in trading with the government or professionals who want to make a career in the global supply chain sector. The last program that I'll talk about today is the Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning Specialist Program. This program consists of 7 modules and is 28 weeks long. The program will introduce students to the theoretical and the practical applications of machine learning and data science. Through data analysis and visualization, students will learn how to use AI technologies to optimize their business. This program also includes live instructor lessons, so it's very hands-on. The program will cover Python, Jupyter Notebooks, and Google Colab. All of our instructors are leading experts with backgrounds in both data science and in business. This means that they have the academic and the real-world expertise to help students succeed. The program is perfect for business professionals who work with any type of data and who wish to stay competitive by using the power of machine learning and data science. Finally, I'd like to take a moment to highlight our free career placement support module. This free module is available to our students to help them transition seamlessly to a new job. This module helps students with networking, identifying career opportunities, resume building, and interviewing skills. Now, I'd like to introduce an instructor at IGS, Dr. Candace McGovern. Dr. Candace McGovern has served as a lecturer, educator, and consultant for museums, schools, and universities. After completing her PhD, she started her own consultancy company, specializing in high-profile clientele, with clients in Switzerland, Italy, France, and Germany, along with companies such as Macmillan Publishing. She is currently teaching Module 4 in our Global Education Specialist program. Welcome, Candace.
Thank you for that introduction, Poe. So as mentioned, my name is Dr. Candace McGovern, and I have been in the education field for about 20 years now. I actually started while in undergrad working in museum education, progressed to doing teacher training, and then moved into private consulting afterwards. And Poe is correct, I have students around the world. Currently, I have students in China, Australia, Switzerland, the United Kingdom, America, and Canada. And because Zoom has become so popular now, it's great because we can work with students around the world. My full-time job during the day is, of course, as mentioned, being an education consultant, which means that I can bring everything that I do all day long to my classroom. And I do teach Module 4. It's titled Application Systems and Preparation. The aim of the module is really to learn all of the background information that you need to succeed as an education consultant or specialist. And the way I designed it was to be as hands-on and as practical as possible. That way, when you leave, you really are able to see the skills that you've learned and then take and apply them to the real world in your future career. And throughout the module, you learn all sorts of different information, but it can be broken down into 3 main groups. The first one is about education systems around the world. So because students will be potentially moving from one country to another or switching school systems, it's important to know some of the major school systems around the world. And this includes primary and secondary schools. So it covers the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, China, a few European countries, as well as the International Baccalaureate, which is taught around the world. After we discuss primary and secondary schools, we also move into the university system, and this also varies around the world. For example, here in the UK, we run a first, second, and third year system, so only 3 years for undergraduates, whereas in the US, it's a 4-year system and named freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. So it can get a little complicated, and so we like to discuss how old people are when they start university, how long it lasts, and the type of programs that are available and degrees that they can get, both at the undergraduate and postgraduate level. The other thing that we cover in great detail are the different standardized tests. So while some countries have exit exams or terminal degrees, such as A levels or the International Baccalaureate, not all countries do. And certain countries, like the United States, require special standardized tests to apply for university. And so those are discussed. So that way you can give your potential clients the best information possible. And really the goal of being an education specialist is to help a student find the perfect fit school. So we really want to focus on understanding student needs, but then also understanding the options available to them. And that's what's really special about this module. One thing we do starting from week 2 actually is work on a cumulative portfolio. And this portfolio is amazing. I made one a few years ago and use it every day. I'm adding to it constantly. And essentially it contains all the information that you need in a snapshot way about various schools. And it's something that you can reference, that you can use for your clients to reference. The other elements that really make it special are because it's hands-on, you actually are able to practice writing personal statements, seeing examples, getting a feel for what's expected in different countries and what's expected at different types of universities. And so this again is also going to be really great because if you need to give advice, create an application for a student, you'll already know the kind of thing that's expected to be included within that. I would say working with us is really quite helpful because we have been in this industry for decades. And one of the really great things is that we can pass on some of the tricks and tips that we've had learned and taken decades to learn to you in just a few weeks. Also, because of the really small class sizes, you actually get really unique and valuable feedback. In fact, one of the comments I had during my last module was that it was their favorite because they were able to actually receive feedback that they could directly start using in their day-to-day education and planning for their future career. And so they really liked the detailed feedback that we were able to give, as well as all the practical aspects of it. I think this is also a really good time to start looking at this as a career. Now that we're sort of reopening and students are starting to look abroad for school options again, or to just make moves within their own countries. Becoming an education consultant or an education specialist is really going to, I have a feeling, grow quite significantly in the future as students become more adapted to living around the world and wanting to experience new cultures and new education systems. And so if you join now, by the time everything's really recovered, you'll have finished the course and be there right as we start to peak again. So I agree that this is a great time to get started. So I will go ahead and pass it over to Paul now, who will continue.
Thank you, Candace. Now, before we jump into the Q&A section, I'd like to take a quick moment to remind you all of our upcoming tuition change. So the tuition is currently $533 Canadian per module. However, our tuition is scheduled to increase by 10% after the April 4th start date. So we do strongly encourage you to apply before this change. Okay, so now to conclude our intro session, we'd like to hear from you. If you have any questions regarding our programs, please feel free to ask right now by typing in the chat. Jen and I are here to help address any general questions. And of course, our instructor for the Global Education Specialist Program, Dr. Candace McGovern, is also here to help answer any questions. So it looks like we have a question here. What is the process to becoming an education agent? So Candace, do you mind perhaps providing some insight on that topic there? I think you're muted, Candace.
Thank you. So one of the things with this is that it does vary based on where you are in the world and where you will be working. So you will need to check with the countries that you want to work in or with that you meet any sort of requirements that they have. But in general, you simply just need a really good understanding of the school system, as well as some experience, preferably in education. But this could be done through your own educational experience as well. Sometimes what we learn personally is some of the best information that we can pass on to our students.
Thank you, Candace. I hope that answers that question. We have a question here and also in the general chat. I want to inquire about the CBSA program and how long the program is. Jen, do you want to help answer that question?
Sure. So the CBSS program is 29 weeks long, and there are 7 modules included.
Thanks, Jen. If you have any questions about the CBSA program, again, you can also email us directly after the presentation or continue to type it in the chat. Looks like we have another question, again, a series of questions about the education specialist program. So maybe I'll read them all together. What types of clients does an education agent usually take on, and how much money does an agent make? Which types of applications are more popular or lucrative? So that's a few questions there. I guess it all relates to the same topic. Candace, do you mind perhaps shedding some light on those questions?
Sure. So as far as where students are coming from or where it's popular, in my background, it's a lot of Chinese students. I work with them going around the world, but also anyone who's immigrated from one country to another. So you have a lot of British citizens living abroad and wanting to send students back to university in their home country, but they might not have lived here for a while. But the courses that, the countries that I mentioned in the course tend to be the ones that have high influxes of students either coming or going. So the United States, the UK, Australia, China, Germany tends to also be a popular destination, but you can always work within a country as well. You don't only have to specialize in international applications. Those are just particularly common for older students. Here in the UK, we have a really strong boarding school system, and so we get many international applications starting from age 11, again at 13, and then again at 16, because those are our entry points. So the kinds of clients you'll work with tends to vary on what your specialism is. In the past, I worked with a lot of students who had specific needs. I've also worked with professional students who needed to find an academic system that would allow them to continue with their elite training or acting and performing. And so you can work with professional children. And that's also another area. I do tend to now work with more high profile clients who are interested in attending boarding schools in Switzerland or the United Kingdom. And they tend to be either European nationals or Chinese nationals, I would say is the majority of people who I work with maybe this past year. Other than that, as far as the pay goes, of course, that's going to vary quite a lot. I've worked in Los Angeles, New York, London. So I've primarily worked in big cities when I'm not doing residentials, which is another fun option for educators. But in those places, roughly it would probably start at about 30,000 pounds, so about 50,000 Canadian dollars, I believe. And that would be for a full-time annual position. And then if you're consulting or running your own company, it'd be closer to about 80 or 100 Canadian dollars per hour. But of course, you need to factor in all the business expenses and things to set your own appropriate rate. It does move with experience and depending on your clientele. The other option is that some schools do offer commissions for placements. They can be a percentage of the tuition. So maybe maybe £1,000 a term Canadian, or they can be a one-off payment. And those are going to vary drastically, and sometimes will require you to have an agent agreement with the school in order to receive those commissions. But I hope that answered all those questions, but they were really good questions.
Thank you, Candace. Looks like we have a couple more questions here in the general chat. For the CBSA specialist program, is there a practicum placement with CBSA? And my colleague Yulia did respond just now in the general chat. She did mention that no university or college is recognized or affiliated with the CBSA to provide that practicum. However, our program is taught by former CBSA officers, so you do have the skills. We provide you with the skills necessary once you graduate to apply to the CBSA. I hope that answers your question there. Looks like we have another question in the general chat from Miriam. Can you run an education agency independently in Canada after obtaining the education agent certification exam? If yes, how do you go about partnering with schools to assist with bringing students? Candace, do you mind perhaps going over that question?
Sure. As far as how we partner with schools, you would meet them at conferences. You would also be able to send emails to the admission team and find information on the school's websites. And then that would allow you to find kind of the right person to be able to then send a message with, and they will tell you the steps with becoming associated with that school. Essentially, it's just a lot of research on your part, a lot of reaching out to people and filling in forms potentially. As far as starting your own company based in Canada, I will leave Po to discuss the legality of it, but you would have all of the necessary requirements and knowledge. But of course, we still learn every day. So your knowledge will just be continuously building as you gain experience.
Candace, just to go on that topic a little further, would every school be a bit different in terms of partnering? So every school, you'd have to establish a unique relationship. Is that what you were mentioning?
Yes, so some don't have partnerships at all. You would just contact them saying that you have a student. Others do require a signed agreement, and some have some have exclusive agreements in place with agencies in certain countries. So it does vary by school. So you're always better off just emailing them and asking or ringing them up.
Okay, thank you, Candace. Are there any other questions regarding our programs? Looks like we have a general question here. Do you offer a start date in the summer? Does the program run all year round? Jen, do you want to perhaps help answer that question?
Yeah, so we do have monthly start date. So our next available one is on April. So definitely we will have started during summer as well.
Right, and as we had previously mentioned, the tuition is scheduled to increase after April 4th. So if you are interested in applying, we do encourage you to apply before that start date. We have another question here. How many months is the CBSA and Global Education program? Jen, do you want to perhaps go over the duration of both those programs once again?
Yeah, so for the CBSS program is 29 weeks, so roughly 7 months. And for the global education is 38 weeks. So I would say roughly about 8 to 9 months. Yeah.
Thanks, Jen. Looks like we have someone who has raised their hand. Hi, Ibrahim. You can type your question in the chat, or if you wish, you can also speak.
Yeah, hi. My name is Ibrahim Ba. I live here in Nashville, Tennessee, in the U.S. My question is that once you finish one of these programs, are you going to be having a certificate or a diploma? And if so, is it recognized? For example, if you want to find a job here with the the Department of Foreign Affairs, or if you want to find a job with the Department of Homeland Security and all that, is it recognizable at this level? So that's my question.
So we do provide a diploma after people, our students graduate from our programs. In terms of recognition, I'm not aware of any institution that has a direct link to those agencies that you just mentioned. Our programs do prepare students and give them the skills they need to apply to those types of positions. So for example, in our Canada Border Service Specialist program, even though we don't have a direct relationship with CBSA, and no education institution does, we do provide our graduates with the skills they need to successfully apply to become a CBSA officer. Our programs are taught by former CBSA officers, so taking the program gives you all the skills and knowledge you need to be successful. Are there any further questions?
No, thank you so much. That's what I wanted to see.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Okay, so if that's all we have, all the questions that we have today, it seems. Before we wrap up, we do encourage you to check out our website and read about our instructors under the faculty section. We're very proud, of course, of our instructors, and they have been carefully chosen for their expertise and their real world experience. In addition, we do offer free demo modules for each of our programs. So if you are interested in a specific program, you can explore the free demo module to see how it works before joining. To request a free access to a demo module, you can submit a request on our website or email us directly. Our website is globalspecialist.org, and you can apply online for the April 4th start date. You can also email us at info@globalspecialist.org or call us at 1-888-228-4598. So thank you for your time, and we do hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you.